Like, I think it's a
fantasy. That's a big one.
I think in today's time, like, I think saying temptation is huge, but like, think about how, like, the porn industry is like promoting cheating in relationships unintentionally.
Should porn be banned?
No, they're promoting a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
A lot of bad
that's
stuff.
a big question.
Should it be banned though? Like, what do you guys think?
I think it should be banned. I think
Okay.
it should be banned. That's actually really interesting because I've done a project on like the mental health side effects around porn.
Okay.
And based off of the stuff that we've seen when it comes to like addiction, a lot of people will say like you can't get addicted to porn.
Yeah,
Right.
But
that's
the-
BS.
a lot.
That's
there's
BS.
a lot of like looking into
So
like
dumb.
how it affects our brain reward system, and it's if not pretty similar to like substances.
Yeah.
So there's already the train of it being addictive, and then there's the like developmental side of it where like I mean you have. So like I mean earlier we were talking about men. So now like if we just like focus on boys,
Okay.
you know, on the start of
Developing to-
becoming a man,
Yeah.
porn completely ruins that. I mean, because you're having stuff like role modeled, cheating, you know, or like
Stepmom.
stepmom,
Like,
yeah, just
what?
stuff like and that in itself, there's like this conditioning of like that's what gets me aroused, and that's what like
Yeah.
gets me going, and it's almost like kind of like what we touched on a little bit ago. You're not creating a person who's able to like think for themselves because they're just again falling for the media, the porn, and they're like, wait, actually I don't know what I'm attracted to or what gets me going. It's just this, and
Yeah.
it's like raunchy and stepmom and
Yeah.
and then the other train is so then you know it's addictive, it's being exposed to kids way too early on. It leads to developmental issues when it becomes like to becoming a healthy man.
Yeah.
And then the third one is like there's just the whole like human trafficking going on with that, and it's like not all consensual. Yeah, sure, we know that there's porn stars who are like, yeah, this is how I make my living and it's consensual, but there's so much of it that's not.
Or just like revenge porn being leaked. And stuff.
Yeah, and it's just like, dude.
Boom.
But no. Here's the thing,
I'm
though.
mad
Like,
at you.
What's that? What's
Boom.
revenge porn?
if you had, let's say, you had sex with a partner, you record it,
Yeah.
then you guys break. up, and you
Oh.
just kind of post it online.
That's
just
wild.
It's like leaking.
So-
That's
leaking
wild.
nudes or something like that.
Yeah.
But fundamentally, I actually don't. I don't think we should ban it. But I don't think it has much of a use case. I think we have to kind of look at it like any other substance in terms of just like alcohol,
I don't
in terms
know.
of just like weed. I think a lot of
I
people
feel like
will
it has
say
a direct effect on your psyche and your spiritual life.
it does, but so does wine.
So does alcohol.
So does alcohol. So
Don't
does
buy
weed,
wine.
So does
And it-
gambling.
I wish.
so does
gambling.
anything
I think-
that you can name that you
I
get
think it's
addicted to.
I think it's different because it's like
It's not.
What
You
about
are-
so are you chill with heroin? Because now we're trying to triage all these things.
Heroin once a month, it's okay.
Yeah. Once every 3 months, you know? I just do a little bit. You know?
No, I'm saying no. So I agree in terms of just like, yes, there are certain things that you probably really don't want
Right.
to like be at least with alcohol. You say, okay, once you turn 21, you could drink.
Dude, I got
right?
this buddy who he's like, yeah, like once every 3 months if I'm at a party, I'll do a line of coke, and I'm like, oh,
No, but that's a little more acceptable, honestly, than heroin.
Then
But
shooting it, yeah.
I agree with I see what you're saying
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that point, but I fundamentally don't see porn being anywhere near as detrimental.
Oh, I
as-
disagree.
I highly disagree.
I 100%
Okay.
disagree.
Why?
Go ahead.
Wait, okay,
No,
so
tell us why you don't think.
Okay, I'll tell you why. So,
Yeah.
one, everybody in here has watched porn. Like, there's not a single one of, like, no guy in this room right now who hasn't watched porn, right?
Yes.
So now, let me ask you a question. Do you believe that you, like, wherever you are right now, porn has detrimentally affected your life?
Detrimental.
Because now we have to go.
can I say this?
Go ahead.
I think porn causes people to see people in a way that they're not.
I agree.
You over sexualize.
I agree.
people. You think that women are just sex tools.
I agree.
You think that they're supposed to do these like super fantasy things. You think you can talk to them in a certain way. And I think like from a societal perspective, back to what is a man.
Yeah.
If people are growing up like being able to watch like porn and stuff like that, what it does is it like affects your ability to like have normal conversation.
Yeah.
It makes you think that you're trying to achieve something.
But now you're talking about people with a problem, because you know what else can do that? Abortion.
So
that
I
doesn't
think-
mean we should ban it.
I think like right now, like
So-
if I had never
Abortion.
seen porn and me at 25 started watching it,
Right.
I think there's a very low chance that it'll like
Destroy your life.
I'm not gonna stop going to my
Right.
to my master's program. I'm not gonna stop going to
Loving
work.
a girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm not just gonna be like sitting like 24 hours a day sitting in
Yeah,
bed.
yeah,
24
exactly.
you know.
Yeah, yeah,
But I do believe that at a certain developmental stage, say like 13, 14,
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
that amount of that risk goes
unregulated.
so much higher.
Yes. Yes.
Because
Yes.
a 12-year-old gets exposed to it.
Right.
I mean, it just makes you do something that feels so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it ruins them socially.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, why would I go out to a party or to a book club or to just any club in general and try and talk to a girl when I can just see the hottest girl on the planet right now and
On a
then
video
get
on
a
my phone
dopamine
and-
release
exactly.
and oxytocin, like all that good stuff, you know? So then it ruins them being able to have good
So
relationships.
you think it should be controlled?
So that's the thing. like,
Heavily, yeah.
Yeah.
then it's like,
Well,
at least with
I'm still done with the banning of it.
you got to think like people
Or the kids, bro. The kids.
you got to think at least with abortion, right? Like, I'm sure there's a regulations to how an abortion works.
How? Because you can get an abortion 8 months in. You can get an abortion at any, like if you, in the states that it is legal, like New York
Yeah.
and
You
certain
can get an
places.
abortion 8 months.
Yes, you can get an abortion.
God
the day
bless
before.
America.
Obviously, it doesn't happen.
Wow.
But you can.
It does if you can.
There needs
Well,
to be
you
like
can.
a reasonable boundary. Like
That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
God bless. I think because it's impossible to regulate porn and it's going to affect anyone who's like younger than like 18 if they're exposed to it and like have no self-control. And I'm not blaming them for not having self-control. Like, I think since it's impossible to regulate, you just gotta get rid of it.
No.
So we should get rid of it, and then we should have like jerk stations where if you're 21, you get to go in the box.
Wait, bro.
No.
Open up one in the front. It's a new endeavor.
That would be really profitable, though. I'll tell you that.
Super profitable.
But look.
Bro, I read this book though where they had like it's like in the future they
Yeah.
have like sex bots and you can like
Oh yeah, no, that's crazy. Or like a
Order-
sex
I like
doll. Or
that's what it's leading to.
Oh, it's already here.
Because
It's
you know
already-
people.
Yeah, no, there's
people have,
already
like,
forms. Yeah.
AI relationships. So like,
Yeah.
what's gonna stop someone from having like an AI sex bot?
Yeah,
Or an AI girlfriend.
literally.
Oh.
I think people already have that though.
Bro, have y'all seen the movie Companion?
No, have you seen what's the one with Megan Fox?
Oh, that one's
like a Black Mirror.
Buns.
Like a Black Mirror
It's,
episode?
I've seen it, but it's not as good as Companion.
It's better.
It's better.
Where's that? Like on Netflix?
I think it's. I don't think it's. It was in the theaters a little bit ago.
Okay.
So we need some time. But,
But just because with the porn thing, I feel like alcohol is way more detrimental to anybody's life than porn will ever be.
Is it though?
It is.
People drink-
And I'll tell you why.
in-
I'll
in
tell you why. I'll tell you why.
European
Look, I'll tell you why. So when I probably didn't watch porn until I was like 16, right? Which is probably older
that's
for
you're
most-
lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. For most
Yeah,
people,
lucky, yeah.
there was only one other time that ever happened. I was like 12, and my neighbor, who was like 17, 18, like a high school kid, he showed me a video. I was like, whoa, and I was like surprised by it. But I never actually watched porn besides that one time until I was 16, and that's when I seeked it out. But what I'll say is, I have a friend who I remember he was telling me a story. Like when he was like 12, he found out what porn was. And he told me, like, no lie, up until like a point in college, he would jerk off like over 10 times a day. He was like, I'm being so dead ass.
Yeah.
He said
No,
like
that's
sometimes,
possible.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's like sometimes I literally wouldn't even like. I wouldn't. He's like nothing would even come out. I would do it just to do it, or like he'd be like, "Oh, I do it after I did like a test or something." Like I would just like do it, like, "Oh, I'm about to do this thing, and as soon as I'm done, I'm gonna reward myself by jerking off."
it's like
right?
a coping skill. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
it becomes a drug. It becomes what you look at as weed or as alcohol or as any other drug, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't think porn fundamentally should be banned. I do think there has to be a lot more regulation in who can access it. But I also think, like you said, there's always going to be, just like alcohol, there's 16-year-olds getting shit-faced at a bar right now.
I think the difference is
You
like
know?
weed and like drinking or like even something as bad as heroin. Heroin's bad. I don't
Okay.
think anyone should do heroin, right?
Okay.
That only affects what's going on, like your experience of the world, like from a feeling
No,
standpoint.
because somebody can go drink alcohol and go crash into a family of 4 and everybody dies. So
Right,
there's no
but
way that
because
those things only affect you.
Because it's affecting your perception. Like I
100%.
agree.
Same with porn.
What I'm saying is, when you look at porn, it's like you are watching two people have sex.
Right.
Like, that's more than just.
Maybe consensually.
Yeah, that's
Right.
like there are 3 people involved in your ability to receive that drug.
And how many people are involved in your ability to buy alcohol? The person
I'm not
at the
talking about.
store?
I'm talking about using.
Right. In
Complete-
order for you to get to the use of alcohol, somebody had to have made it.
No. I'm literally just talking about drinking it. Like.
Yes, but how do you get to drink it? You're not drinking alcohol without someone selling
Okay,
it.
so
I'm
if-
confused
without
as to
somebody
what you're
making
getting at.
If you're doing that with porn, then it's like, okay, then you have to talk about like who created the porn, like then you have to talk about like the studio that released it, then
Right.
what site. What I'm talking about is purely consumption. It takes one human being by themselves to consume a drug or drinking of any kind, right?
Okay.
To consume porn, there has to be other people you're watching do it. So it takes like more than one human being to consume that. And I think this like dichotomy of like watching other people do something sexual is a completely different thing in your brain than like drinking or like doing drugs. Like it affects you in a different way.
I don't think so.
I believe porn has ruined more marriages than any substance.
I agree.
there.
Really?
The
Because I would,
numbers,
that is-
that would be interesting to see.
I would
That is just
honestly
my
disagree.
my personal opinion.
I think that's
I
real.
don't see that.
yeah.
Dude, like
Porn
I mean,
is
we're-
definitely
think-
detrimental. It's the silent killer for sure. Like
It's-
most people,
I think it's worse than all of the drugs combined.
Something that's
No.
interesting too is like from my experience of working with youth too, it's like, you know, we all see like the youth who are like using substances, like, yeah, I'd be smoking weed or
Yeah, yeah.
I'm drinking beers like,
Yeah, yeah.
because of this and that.
yeah.
But the porn's not even talked about. So it's like we
Exactly.
don't even know the numbers
Yeah,
on
yeah.
like how many
Watch it.
teens
Everyone does
are
in a way,
abusing
right? Yeah,
porn,
yeah, yeah.
Or if they've been exposed to it, you know, that could. I would bet a lot of money that that's like the first major trauma in a lot of teens,
Bro,
youth.
even
that
me.
leads to like so much more stuff.
When I was 13, like that's when I started. And for some reason, I don't know if it was as a result or before, but like I was a really social kid until high school or like middle school. And then it just like stopped until after high school. And there was a point where I had to completely stop porn for a year, completely changed my life. I went from a D kid to an A kid and got entirely new relationships. So I think it really is the silent killer.
It is,
And you
100%.
have to eliminate it.
See, the thing with
Or
the
just
thing with
we need talk. I mean, talking about it.
Yeah,
like
'cause people don't want like people only talk about porn like this. Like,
yeah.
dude, did you see the
Did
Mia
you see that
Khalifa?
girl?
That's crazy.
they don't talk about it.
Yeah.
They don't talk about
Yeah,
it like,
yeah.
dude, I'm struggling and trying
Yeah.
to stop.
Yeah.
Like
no, for real.
if it's either glorified or not, and like
Yeah.
when you're trying to stop or someone's trying to get away from it, like that's when it's the most like I can't tell anyone this.
Yeah.
It's like then it becomes a shameful experience. for
Exactly.
No,
people.
definitely.
And I think like that's what makes it worse. Like people are more likely to tell someone like, "Yo, I'm struggling with weed," or like struggling with drinking, than to tell someone like, "I'm struggling with porn."
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's at like the basis of being a man, like a real man versus a fake man. Because I feel like the fake men want to come together and glorify these bad things, like, oh, look at this woman's like tits, like, oh, they look so good. And then it's versus like, dude, I'm really struggling with this, or
Right.
oh, I'm gonna get lit tonight, we're gonna get drunk. Versus
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm an alcoholic, I have 2 DUIs.
Yeah.
Like,
I have 2 DUIs. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
bro,
Yeah. So being like true.
I think if you get a second one, you go in jail.
Dude, I'm in jail. I
Yeah.
got my second DUI, basically. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Dude,
I mean, I even like have even thought, or I think I wrote in some. I don't remember what I talked about it or wrote it somewhere in one of our classes in our program. But you know how like when you go in for like a physical and they like say like, you know, what medication do you take? Are you sexually active? Do you drink? Do you smoke?
Yeah, yeah.
Like they should add,
Do you watch porn?
do you watch porn? Because I think it's at the level of having so much of an effect on your life. You know, of course they ask, are you sexually active for like, you know, the
STDs
STIs, all
and
that
stuff.
stuff,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah.
But like porn, you know, makes your coping mechanisms maladaptive. It makes
Yes.
you, you know, can, you know, make you antisocial. So, I mean, hopefully one day
but-
we get
but
to that
even
point.
why,
Let me
even
ask-
why I think it's just higher than all the others. You have to buy everything else. Like you need someone to purchase it. I think the crazy part about porn,
OnlyFans is purchasable.
Okay, well, I'm saying like
I mean, that's
there is
Wait,
access.
you're saying there's access to free, but if you're a pretty girl, you can get free weed and alcohol all you want.
not at the rate someone can watch free porn.
You're 100% right.
And
It's
that-
a way different. It's a way.
That is why I think it's so dangerous as well. Like,
Dude, but let me ask you a question. Not even a question. Let me just pose something to you. I think for the most part, most people find things like, for example, you'll always hear a heroin addict tell you, "Oh, heroin is the worst drug on earth." You'll hear somebody who's been an alcoholic say, "Alcohol is the worst drug on earth." I think with most people with porn, you have to have enough of a bad experience with it to be able to even try to recognize it as that. Because there's tons of people who will watch porn sporadically here and there, like once in a blue moon, and have no problem, just never, it's not even a thing that troubles their life at all.
Yeah.
And that can be just said with anything else, with any other drug. Like some people can drink once in a blue moon, and literally it will have no problem on their life.
so this is what I think is crazy. Like, maybe this is just because I have a faith in Christ. Like, I think sex is meant to be reserved for husband and wife. It's supposed to be like a very sacred thing, right? And now you can just watch people do something that's supposed to be sacred, and it takes out its meaning, and like that is supposed to be the pinnacle of love. Like, because I love you and you love me, we are doing this thing to bond us. And now when you can just view it in the context of marriage, obviously, but now when you can just view it and it loses its meaning, how does that affect anybody? Sex is now demeaned from being in the proper space it's supposed to be, at least how it was created to be. And I think even people who aren't addicted, it's affecting their view of what is the context in which I'm supposed to have sex? Who are what is the point of sex? Is sex even is sex important, or is sex supposed to be sacred and reserved for someone, when you can just go on I'm just gonna watch other people have sex? It doesn't, I don't know. I think it destroys our concept of what sex is actually supposed to be. Even if you are mature and you won't get addicted, the ability to just wake up one day and watch 10 minutes of porn right in front of you does something to your brain that affects the activity they're doing. They're supposed to reserve that for the person they love most, whereas now it's just a hobby. For so many people, sex is a hobby, and I feel that's because of porn. And how does sex being a hobby affect people? Affects their ability to get into relationships. It affects their ability to stay in relationships. It causes people to go and rape people. It causes people to have crazy fantasies. All these things that porn directly destroys. And even if it's I'm not addicted, or someone's not addicted, it's because it's so socially accepted now, it's still destroying something that would be normal if it wasn't